acceleration here. Okay, continue. What were you gonna say? The looming stressor of making sure that I have a sustainable living is definitely real.
La 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 la. I'll be back.
But I would much rather take that stressor over the stress of sitting down and doing something that I don't like every single day and it becomes monotonous. I'll do the end of a monologue. Now, each and every day is very different from one another. Every day feels like an adventure, which is extremely fun to me. Hi, I'm Max Gallo. I'm 28 years old, living in Brooklyn, New York. And in 2023, I made $17,000 working as an actor. And welcome to Millennial No Money. Most of my income came from acting. It didn't last too long. We went on a strike and I had to use some of the unemployment benefits. And then some of it also came from working at an exotic car dealership. And those are my 3 sources of income. I did not like that job. It made me feel like the bad guy at times, where I had to do what the company wanted and not necessarily what I would have liked to do. I'm not actually reading this book. I'm just looking at it. It's a good book though. Power of Habit. I was saving a good amount and it was very scalable. I probably could have put a deposit on a home, but I wanted to take my shot. I wanted to try to follow my dreams because I knew that if I tried later in life, I don't know if I would have as much momentum as I do now, and I could always go back to a more traditional path if I needed to. That was actually really graceful. I really tried to tell myself after the insurance job that I really wanted to prioritize doing things that are fun and enjoyable and that I would do for free and get paid for them. Welcome to P1 Exotics. This is my survival job, like a lot of actors have. This is our storage facility where we're storing some of the cars that we have here, and this is a Ferrari 355. This is about 400 or 450,000. You can see the aerodynamics. The wind and the air would go through the door. So while working for the car dealership, I would get $20 an hour, which was pretty good, at least for me in terms of like the fun that I was having. But I put that sort of on the back burner because it would require me to go back and forth from New York to New Jersey. That becomes a lot, but still very much worth it to do it once in a while. One thing that I have noticed, which is very odd, especially for being in the income bracket that I'm in, I have a Honda Civic that I drive around, and I've gone to like some of the same places, and I've been treated extremely differently. If I pulled up somewhere in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, you're treated like royalty. If you're in a Honda Civic or anything normal, you'll go very much under the radar. People have no interest in paying attention to you, and it's a little off-putting. My lifestyle hasn't really changed too much, which is probably why I'm spending more than I'm making. If you don't want to spend money in New York City, you pretty much just have to like lay down inside, because everything that you do, if you like go anywhere, it's going to cost you money. I don't go out and buy new things very often. I like to spend my money on experiences rather than an item. It's definitely been difficult. I've relied on some of my savings to compensate for the losses that I've had each month. It's interesting because to accrue that savings took like a few years, but it's also being dissipated over the course of a few years. So I don't feel too stressed by it. And then I put my camera right there, and then this is like for auditions. I feel pretty good about paying my bills, at least right now. I know I don't have a huge safety net, but it does feel good that I at least have something there, and I know that at any time I could go in the corner to Starbucks or any sort of place and get a job that's going to meet my expenses because they're relatively low. Hello, welcome to my tiny little apartment. This is my tiny room. I have a little editing setup here. I ended up getting a really good deal on this place. It's supposed to be around $3,000, but I ended up getting about $1,000 off per month. I went to a real estate agent and I said, do you know of anything that's going to be on the market in about 3 months? I'll take it as soon as the last tenant leaves, so that way you have no downtime and you're not missing out on like a few months rent when the apartment's sitting there. And I said, if you could pass that savings along to me, I would love it. And they went for it. Frugality is really hard sometimes when you're trying to be healthy. A lot of the cheaper foods are not very good for you. I will go to the grocery store or farmer's market and see something that's relatively inexpensive that you have to cook yourself. I didn't buy the BMW M Roadster with an investment mindset. I bought it just because I was not really that happy at the insurance company. I was trying to mitigate that by buying myself like a fun little sports car. It was actually not that expensive when I bought it. It was around $10,000, but since then it's nearly doubled in value. I never want to sell the BMW. I would like to keep that forever and have it be a part of my collection in the future. If I had to, I would, to put an extra $18,000 towards my dreams, but I would much rather go out and get a part-time job that helps me sustain myself. When I was in class surrounding acting, like it felt really, really good. I was like, I would love to do this for free, let alone if someone eventually decides to pay me for it. It also felt like therapeutic.
Good to see you. Good.
I think a lot of us have like played in an imaginary way when we're kids, and that's what it kind of feels like as an adult. So it felt really cool, and I wanted to do more of that. I've been writing and working towards like a few different things. I would say I am happier now than when I was working for the insurance company. I feel hopeful that something great might just be around the corner. I think a lot of actors feel that way, so I don't want to be delusional.
With a southern accent is that role, right? We're doing the last but certainly not least.
One thing I think people don't necessarily understand about actors or artists, especially from like a point of view of someone who maybe has a corporate job or isn't into the arts, is that it's a way of life, and this is a really difficult path to take. But for artists, it's not as much of a choice as you think it is. We don't really feel whole, we don't really feel good unless we're expressing ourselves, and that's really hard to do, especially when you're not being paid for it and sometimes don't even have the outlet to do it.
Well, like when you finish a monologue, one of the first things I usually ask is like, left to your own devices, what would you do differently, or what would you want to adjust?
Yeah. I was planning on having a good amount of work, booked myself a vacation to 5 different countries. Then the strike came, so I was out of work and also taking a trip, which felt very weird to me because I was now going on something that was leisure and fun, and knowing that when I come back, I have a lot of figuring out to do because there's going to be nothing. There is no plan B. I will succeed as an actor. I don't know to what length I will succeed. I don't know if I'll have my own movie or my own TV show, but I will become an actor. There's no option. I will also be considering and pursuing other ways to earn money and maybe another career path that will earn me a salary and not just like a gig. Yeah. Some of the goals for this year is to get an agent, so that way I can get my foot in the door for things that I currently can't get my foot in the door for, and also to start writing a little bit more on some of what I really want to make in the future. I'm willing to go back to a 9-to-5, but I want something that has a good work-life balance. That's been really hard for me to find. I don't want it to affect what is essentially a second job, because I will continue to pursue my career as an actor. I don't want to have anything conflict with that. But I do need the money, so that's why sometimes part-time work looks attractive to me, because you clock in and you clock out. So I definitely do have goals. It's a long pursuit. It's a marathon, not a sprint. There may be a time when I need to put my dreams on hold to go do something and then come back. But as of right now, I'm going to give myself probably about 2 more years to really go full force in this, and then I might have to put it more so on a back burner. Every choice that I've made has led me to this point right now, and I don't regret it. It's pretty great.